What's up guys, Aaron Bennett here. In this video talking about some Celsius updates. A lot of it is what they're going to talk about tomorrow on Thursday in court. So here's an overview of what I want to talk about in this video. The first going over everything that they are going to talk about in court on September 1st. Then going over a lot of the Strato documents, going over what the Withhold lawyers also support the UST, saying that our information should be redacted. So a lot of this is like the privacy of our information. I'm then going to go over a motion from Kirkland saying why they have no conflicts of interest with Voyager and Celsius, and why they should still remain counsel. Then I'm going to talk about Kirkland, and these are Celsius's lawyers, talking about why they need to redact information, and why they're doing so is to supposedly protect you and I, the creditors. I'm then going to go over another story, why Akin, Gump, Strauss also feels like they should not be let go of the Celsius team. This all started when the U.S. trustee was like, hey, we don't support, or we want you to give us information about why we should keep you, or why you should be allowed to still represent Celsius. And then I'm going to finish off talking about the custody account holders. So basically this is going to be a short video, well I hope so, where I'm just giving you guys an overview of what really is going to be talked about tomorrow on the 1st, which I will definitely cover. So right here is what they're going to cover tomorrow, September 1st at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Now there are all sorts of motions you can see here: wages, cash management, creditor matrix, basically talking about redacting information, which I really hope that they do, which I'll cover later, talking about bidding, de minimis asset sales, and all sorts of other things here. So I will obviously cover what they decide and let you guys know really how it affects you and I, because really what really matters is how does this affect us, right? There's a lot of stuff going on, but that's the most important thing. So this next motion I want to talk about is the Withhold account holders statement, basically supporting Celsius that they should redact information. So essentially this is the ad hoc group representing the Withhold account holders saying that we don't want our information public. So they say they appreciate the importance of transparency, but there is a need to protect financial and physical safety of private individuals. And Kirkland is going to talk about this as well. And the reason they're talking about this is because the judge is going to make some determinations on what information they have to publicly say about you and I. So I'm going to talk about this and also my feelings about this a little bit later in the video. So they're saying that if Celsius disclosed customers' email addresses, this would put customers at a greater risk from hackers. And it would also make customers all too easy targets for identity theft, phishing attacks, and other scams. I completely agree. And they say home addresses would be even worse, potentially putting their physical safety at risk. So they're saying that the U.S. trustee was ignoring Celsius's argument that individual customers will be put at risk by the disclosure of their information. So essentially their conclusion is that they support Celsius in redacting personal info. So this next motion is Kirkland saying why they should stay as counsel for Celsius. And this is a response to the U.S. trustee basically saying, we don't know if you should be counsel for Celsius. For one, they are representing Celsius and Voyager, which I'll cover a little bit later in this motion. And Voyager was a customer of Celsius and how there can be conflicts of interest there. But what they say here for a few quotes is that despite some allegations, Voyager and Celsius do not have a material overlapping interest. So he says just because they're both crypto companies does not mean they have conflicting business interests. And they even say that the overlapping business interests between Voyager and Celsius are not even significant. So apparently Voyager had two accounts prior to the bankruptcy petition date, but now those accounts are just around $11,000, so very, very low, and it shouldn't be an issue. So now I'm going to talk about Kirkland saying that Celsius is not avoiding the bankruptcy laws by wanting to redact info, like the U.S. trustee is saying. Celsius is doing so in order to protect us, and they're still abiding by the rules. But my issue is that even though Celsius says they are not sharing all the information in order to protect us, there's a part of me that thinks that they are hiding things really to protect themselves. So let me go through this document here again with Kirkland talking about why redacting information is not only legal, but it's for our best interest. So they say disclosure, transparency, and public access to court records are among the most fundamental building blocks of a Chapter 11 process. But they say that absolute unlimited publication of info on the docket would do significantly more harm than good, and that the U.S. trustee ignores the heightened security risks. They say that the U.S. trustee is choosing to argue falsely that Celsius is seeking the authority to file incomplete schedules and statements. But they say that Celsius is only seeking to redact from the paper filed publicly, very important, what is being shown publicly, the home addresses and email addresses of any citizens of the U.S., located in the U.S., including employees, shareholders, and individual customers, and the same info of people in the UK and the European Economic Area members. Celsius has provided or will provide all unredacted, fully populated documents to the court, the U.S. trustee, and the counsel to the committee. So again, it's more about what they're sharing publicly, where like I could look at everybody's home address. That would be a freaking disaster. That would be really, really dangerous, because if somebody sees that somebody has $5, $10, $20 million locked up in Celsius, they're probably assuming that they have a lot of other assets and money that's probably on a hardware wallet, possibly at their house. And Kirkland says this, which is very important. He says no matter how many times the U.S. trustee says it, Celsius is not skirting around disclosure requirements of the bankruptcy code. They said that Celsius will disclose, again, all the information to the court, the U.S. trustee, and the counsel, basically everything regarding people's home addresses, their email addresses, all that kind of stuff will be shared, just not publicly, which I think is the best idea. Again, like public disclosure of all this information would be catastrophic to people's personal safety, and I can't think of a reason why things have to be public. Because if there is some criminal investigation or they want to pursue things privately, like the U.S. trustee or whatever, they're still going to have that information. Like the U.S. trustee is going to have your home address, right? But that's okay. That's private. That's very different. So without going over it, Akin and Gump are also arguing why they should stay as special litigation counsel for Celsius. And again, a lot of these are arguments for the judge to see to make a decision on tomorrow and in future hearings. And what was released just a few minutes ago for making this video was the custody holder's declaratory judgment. And I'm not going to go through it because it is 23 pages, but it is them making their case for, and I did highlight one little line here, basically, custody assets are not property of the estate, meaning the bankruptcy estate, under Section 541 of the Bankruptcy Code. And there are other motions which I'm not really going to cover, but basically there is somebody saying that, hey, I asked Celsius to shut down my account before they froze withdrawals, before obviously they filed for bankruptcy, and Celsius did not actually close my account. So she is saying, hey, I'm in a different category than everybody else, which she may be. I mean, she's basically saying, hey, I don't belong, my assets don't belong to the bankruptcy estate. The UCC's initial objection for this case was like, well, if we start approving these kind of fringe cases, it's going to open up this massive floodgates for everybody, essentially, to say, I'm in a special case, give me my money back, etc. So I don't know, we'll see what happens here. But just to summarize this video, so we have a lot of things coming through that again will be talked about tomorrow and in the future times Celsius is before the court. I do agree that publicly sharing all of our information would be very, very bad. But I also recognize that if Celsius is withholding information in a way that is preventing the court to see very important things, then that's bad too. So there's that fine line we got to walk between privacy and also disclosure and having enough transparency to figure out everything that went on, right? So I'm not a lawyer, I'm not making those judgments, but I do agree that, my information out there, your information out there, could be really, really dangerous for us. So guys, that's it for the video. I hope after editing this, it was not too long. I will come at you tomorrow with hopefully the information that was presented in the courts and any judgments that the judge ruled upon. And that is it for the video. So apologize for the sore throat and sounding like I have a cold. I still do. I am doing my best to get over this. I will grab some zinc and get more freaking orange juice and vitamin C. So I'll do that after this video, guys. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.